Hello to you all, and welcome to IMPROVATE's Cybersecurity 2021 conference. I'm Lauren Iso. Axonius is the cybersecurity asset management platform that gives organizations a comprehensive asset inventory, uncovers security gaps, and automatically validates and enforces security policies. Let's take a look.
Time is the enemy of cybersecurity. Time spent identifying devices missing endpoint agents with known vulnerabilities that are unmanaged, that need updates. Time spent identifying cloud instances that aren't being scanned, that are misconfigured. Time spent gathering asset data for audits, for incident response investigations. Time spent solving asset-related challenges. Time is the enemy of cybersecurity. Until Axonius.
Dean Zisman is a world-renowned expert in cybersecurity and is the co-founder and CEO of Axonius, the fastest-growing cybersecurity company in history. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, why did you start this company in the first place?
Yeah, great question. It doesn't seem like there's a lack of cybersecurity companies and startups in the world right now, right? And the interesting story of how I came up with the idea was as part of a previous life in my career. I was working with this very, very large company that was trying to detect a very advanced attacker in their own network. And while working with them, we were able to put a trap, so to speak, and catch that very advanced attacker within their network by using deception. And we discovered that that attacker was actually something that was very well known in the security industry. It's been researched by other companies before. And we learned that it's actually originating from China. And so this company I was working with, a very, very large company in North America, one of the largest companies in the world. I told them, there's a Chinese attacker inside your network. And there's a machine, there's a computer inside your network that they're operating from. And doing all this damage and hacking your network, and they were very surprised by the fact that they're in there, but they weren't too excited about the fact that we discovered, something that supposedly is the most kind of advanced threat that a network could suffer from. Right? It's called an APT, an advanced persistent threat, As thinking about the next steps, what do you do then, right? You have this thing inside your network, and there's a very common practice of realizing what this attacker is doing in order to stop them and mitigate the attack. And in order to do that, you got to start researching what they're doing. So we looked at the machine where they were operating from, and this is the network, right? We have this address for this computer, and asked them, okay, let's go into this computer and start to understand what the attacker is doing. And what his interests are, what his tools are, and everything, so we can mitigate the attack. But then they told me, yeah, we're not going to be able to find what this machine is. And I was pretty confused because this is one of the most well-funded cybersecurity teams in the world. And they couldn't even find a machine that I told them, here's the address, here it is. Let's go inside of it and understand what it's doing there and what the attacker is doing. So I asked them, if an employee wants something done on their computer, right? Like you're an organization, somebody wants to install a piece of software or change a configuration, what happens? And they said, well, we have all these different management tools that does it. So I asked them, okay, let's go through each one and try and find this computer and understand what the attacker is doing from it. But even though we went through dozens of different controls that they had, we never found what the machine is doing there, or who owns it, or why it's even there. It could have been just something that somebody put into that network and nobody even knew about. Thinking about the fact that we're doing something so advanced, like trying to find that kind of APT, that kind of advanced attacker, and yet they don't even know what machines are in their network. They don't know what they're doing there. They don't know what's going on. And I asked them, how long has this been the case? And they said it's been this way for years because computing environments used to be very simple, right? They used to have one type of device, one operating system, one network, and now we have dozens out of each one of those things.
So yeah, as we said before, you're growing faster than any other cybersecurity company. Why is that?
So thank you. Yes, according to every kind of reference point that we found, from a revenue perspective, we've been the fastest growing cybersecurity company in history. We've more than tripled revenue every year. We've more than doubled our customer count. We've more than doubled our employee count. And it's really interesting to think about why there are so many cybersecurity products and companies. And if you think about it, cybersecurity is like the brakes on a car. If you're driving a very, very fast car, let's say a Ferrari, you need very, very good brakes because in order to go fast, you need to be able to control the speed and control the braking, obviously. If you had a Ferrari that had, I don't know, a Toyota braking system in it, you wouldn't feel comfortable driving very fast or even driving at all. So cybersecurity is the brakes for when organizations implement technology, right? The more technology heavy you are, the faster your car is going and the better your brakes need to be, which means that the more technology you're utilizing, the more cybersecurity helps you move faster in a safe way. And what that means is that during COVID, obviously, organizations have implemented and onboarded a lot more technology. People are working from home. There's a lot less office environment. There's a lot less perimeter that you can defend. And that's really accelerated the need for cybersecurity, and specifically what we do, which is cybersecurity asset management, helping organizations really understand every kind of device, every kind of asset that's in their environment, regardless of if it's somebody working from a coffee shop or from the office environment, or if it's a container in the cloud. We're able to show organizations everything they have in their environment. And it's really interesting that if you talk to a cybersecurity team, regardless of the size of the organization, you ask them even how many devices do you have? The answer is either I don't know or a wide enough range to mean the same thing. I've heard CISOs tell me that they have between 100,000 to 500,000 devices. And if you'd ask a CFO, how much money do we have in the bank? And they would say, oh, we have between, $10 to $50 million. That's a really alarming answer. So why does that happen in cybersecurity? It's because of those reasons that I mentioned before. And it means that there's a very, very big pain of fixing this in organizations almost everywhere.
And what's your focus in terms of the region as a whole?
Yeah, great question. So I couldn't have been more excited about the Abraham Accords and the cooperation between Israeli cybersecurity startups and the Gulf countries. We have, besides the fact that we have Fortune 500 customers that are very, very well-known brands. Some that I can mention are, New York Times, Schneider Electric, Columbia Bank, and many, many others. Some of the biggest brands in the world. We also today have many customers in the Gulf area, utility companies, financial companies, tech companies, and others. And it's amazing how much the threat landscape overlaps between the Gulf area and our current top market, which is North America and the US. So it's really important for organizations to understand that if you're trying to go fast, if you're utilizing technology, you're creating a situation where there's a need to understand better what is your footprint, where are your assets, are they secure, are they fitting your security policies? Do you even know about them, right? Do you know what's in your network, what's in your environment? And that is true in the Gulf area as much as it is everywhere else. And we'd be very happy to show anybody that's interested or has this pain point or this problem, how to solve it effectively. And thank you for having me.
All right, wonderful. Dean Zisman from Axonius, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.